All right, what's in the Bat Cave episode number 2? What's in there? I think out of all the second generation Camaros we've had, which we've had a lot of them.
Yes, we have.
This is, in my opinion, might be the nicest ones we've ever had.
I agree.
I will give this the nicest chassis I've ever seen on a second gen, even on the lower mileage cars. It's the nicest interior I've ever seen on a second gen car. Nicest trunk. Spare's never been out of it. The engine bay, it does have some day one mods, so it doesn't have the original exhaust manifolds, the smogs off of it, but the story goes when you were at Scunseo at High Performance, when they came in, they tuned these motors to run like a 70.5 LT1, so they did the exhaust, timing, rebuilt the carburetor. This is still an LT1, but it's a 72, so a little bit lower compression, and we changed the horsepower ratio. Sequoia green, white stripes, M21 4-speed. And I think one of the coolest things, the 410 gear car.
Drives great.
And so what all did you have to do to this car? And this car had been sitting for a long time.
Yeah, it has, but it's one of the easier ones that I've had to fight with, but I believe the previous owner already drained the gas, had fresh gas in it. So I just went ahead and changed all the rubber fuel lines and found out that the reason it didn't start, I don't know if you guys tried to start it.
No, we just turned it over, but we just turned it over. We didn't really mess with that much. So why was it not running?
It just needed some points, cap rotor, stuff like that. All AC Delco I replaced. Plug wires, spark plugs, stuff like that.
So the sons of the original owner said they kept this car running. They never let it set more than 2 or 3 years, but they never took it out. They just ran it in the garage, made sure it had antifreeze in it, made sure it had fresh gas. But the last time it was actually driven was in 1986. When the original owner had it last inspected for 1987. It is 100% original paint. It does have some lacquer cracking and checking in it, so I'm not going to give it the best original paint second gen car we've ever had. However, I certainly would not paint this car. How about you?
No, absolutely would not.
It's kind of hard to tell in the pictures because the car presents itself so well and it's so straight, but there is some heavy lacquer cracking and lacquer checking, especially in the roof. But again, it's a survivor car, I wouldn't touch it. Another 2 really neat things, which one took a while to figure out how they did this. He wanted a console delete car. They did not do that on the Zs, so we finally figured out how they did it. So Robert Johnson, which is Bob Johnson, the most famous probably Copo driver back in the day, ordered a car with this car so he could accomplish that.
Okay.
And so how we figured that out is the stock number of that exact car is listed on the sheet and they show what they traded. So check this out. When this car came in brand new, they took the console out of it and the front piece of carpet out of it and swapped it for a base car they ordered with this and the stock numbers in there, and that's how they accomplished no console in this car. The guy also did the Z28. He wanted a base steering wheel.
Yeah.
But if you look at the interior of this car, I mean, it truly is one of the best we've ever seen. I mean, and to restore one to this level, almost impossible, because you'd have to have NOS stuff. I mean, no rips, no tears, no scuffs, beautiful dash, and incredibly crisp gauges. So the 70 GTOs, 70 Trans Ams, I mean 70 to 72s, and 70 to 72 Z28s are one of my favorite cars to drive.
They drive great.
And you've driven this one quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So Alex did the service on it, he drove it. Again, all these things I'm talking about, you'll get to see in all the photographs, very, very detailed undercarriage pictures, but I want to show you the paperwork, which we did go over quite a bit of this when we bought the car, when we were talking to the family, incredibly nice family. If you want to see what the car looked like when we rescued it, there'll be a link to the rescue of this car. But like Alex said, he didn't have to fight this car very hard.
No, just change the fluids, some ignition stuff, it's good to go.
Another neat thing is Alex ordered AC Delco points, AC Delco condenser, AC Delco cap. Right, everything AC Delco.
All the parts I took off of it are in the trunk. Even the AC Delco oil filter.
And you saved the pieces that came off of it. So as far as survivor style car goes, which you and I are huge fans of, this is one of the best I've seen. I mean, our 68Z was absolute stud survivor. Jeremy Lee certified it. It was a 70,000 mile car. This one's only got 32 on it.
This one's quite a bit better.
And you can tell the guy absolutely loved this car right here. That was his initials. And there's some photos of when we originally picked it up. He drove this car at his wedding. And again, Scunseo High Performance is I think is really, really cool. But look at the spatter paint in here. In fact, the spare's never been out, the jack is there, and these are the only parts that Alex changed. Now look at the condition of the Posi decal and just think, it's just an amazing car that in my opinion should not be restored. And as we have seen lately, these cars have really come up in value, and a big reason why is they only made 2,575 of these.
Yeah.
And how many do you think are survivor like that? How about?
Very little.
I would bet less than 10, if that.
Yeah.
So, again, it's my opinion. I would rather have an unrestored numbers matching car like this, as opposed to one that's been blown apart, back together. You don't know what you have. But also, again, this guy was very switched on. He was very proud of this car and knew what he had. Here's an actual retail order form. And here's where the console came out of, stock number F63 car, which is incredible. Here's the build sheet. Unbelievable to have. Retail installment contract on the car. Now, we've been saying this is a one family owned since new. The reason why is he wasn't old enough to get financed on the car, so his mom put it in her name. As soon as he's old enough, they transferred it to him, or she gave it to him rather. This is really neat. This is something you rarely see, but this is when you're GMAC, when you paid off your note, which is 3 years old. You got this. Thank you for paying off the note.
Never seen that.
Isn't that neat? Original owner's manual. And this is something that was really key to this car. Mr. Chuck Alexinas from Mr. 427, 427.com pointed that out to us as we were reading the engine number, transmission number, which actually they do match. If you remember, this transmission was built way before the motor was built, which is kind of neat. But there were very few M21 4-speed cars built in total of that year out of all the Camaros. I think it was less than 1,000. So, I mean, out of 2,575 Z28s, to have an M21 in it and have a 410 gear car, be console delete, and a base steering wheel, I would be willing to bet this is a one-off car.
I believe so.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
So you said it drives great?
It does.
Let's go take it for a run. So other than exhaust, did you see anything in this car that's been modified at all?
No.
I mean,
exhaust has still got the original shocks, springs, everything.
yeah, it's crazy.
tank is original?
Original gas tank in this car, original spiral shocks,
Yeah.
original radios in it. And this car never sat outside. They said it was never in the rain, never in the snow. I mean, the interior of this thing is just absolutely nuts.
It's brand new.
The interior in this is as nice as that one owner 72 Chevelle we got,
Yeah.
which is the nicest Chevelle interior I've ever seen.
I agree with that.
Look at the headliner, look at the dash. I mean, it's just crazy. To restore this back is nuts. Again, reverse, and I just love this. The reverse lockout, I love the no console. It's just a big deal to me. Now, we didn't change the tires, so it still drives great, but these tires are no telling how old they are. Shift's great. Boy, you can tell it's a 410 gear car, huh?
Yeah.
So we're going 35 miles an hour in third gear. We're at almost 2,500. I'll let it get some heat in the motor before we rawhide it, but boy, it sounds good. Sounds great inside here.
It does.
Look at that. This is one tight, one family-owned car. Really one owner car, but we got to call her one family-owned car. All the gauges are working. When we picked it up, it had 32,444 miles, which I think was the address of the house. How's that for cool karma?
That's weird.
So it's got the original brakes on the car.
Yes, just bled everything.
Can't remember us ever doing that, not having to replace the brakes to get a car to run and drive.
This car was so original, I didn't want to just start changing everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, because there's some guys that will want to see this car in its original state. Wow. Just screams. You believe her now?
No.
72 Z28 LT1 probably the last good horsepower Camaro built up until recently. And again, only 2,500 and 7,500. I think this is one of the best originals in existence. And again, Alex and I over the years have really, really become fans of original cars like this. I mean, you can restore anything, and finding a C28 in itself, even needing restoration, is tough. Well, once again, Alex, you saved another one. I think it drives fantastic. So what do you think? This is Batcave 2. Is it possible for us to pull one off every week?
For the next 25 weeks, I think so.
Okay. I'll take that challenge. I said for the year, but how about we go with 25 weeks? Alex is much easier than my challenge. Because we still have to pull off Coffee Walk every week.
And our other big collection we'll announce later.
Yes, we've got a big collection coming out at the end of the year, but what Alex and I have set out to do, and Kelsey and Zach, is we've taken the kind of the bigger dollar stuff and we're getting it ready and gone so we can concentrate on the Porsche collection. Love it, Alex. That is outstanding. Way to go.